See this story about this arcade machine that someone left outside their house called Disco Tron. Sorry, Discs of Tron. Disco Tron. Such a dad.
Disco Tron.
It's like a 1983 arcade game machine based on Tron, right? Which, by the way, is a Disney film. I didn't know that was a Disney film.
Tron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, someone got rid of it because obviously it's massive and they didn't want it anymore.
Yeah, it was in someone's garage, wasn't it?
I think worth $10,000.
Yeah, so it's just imagine being like a big retro video game enthusiast. Imagine being someone who just really knows their stuff.
You've just won the lottery seeing that.
Well, yeah, and so the daughter of the house sort of was riding around on a bike and she said, "Dad, there's a big arcade machine that you'd probably like. That's just been left in the street." And he's like, "Yes, dear." It goes out and he goes, "That's worth 10 grand."
Shit. But I kind of thought they were really expensive anyway.
Yeah, the problem with cabinets is that everything was made in the 80s. Everything had capacitors that go bad, things that explode, things that get too hot. Electricity is very expensive. Like there's so many things that can go wrong in those cabs, especially the more complex ones. Like this one was like a big kind of surroundy kind of games machine. So it wasn't just like a stand up and play like one-armed bandit kind of configuration. It was like a whole thing. And so these things are just really heavy. They get really hot, and they're made in the 80s, so they shouldn't have lasted.
Sounds like me,
long.
Actually.
Yeah, they get really heavy, really hot.
I am all those things. And according to the article I read about it, it obviously just been kept in a garage somewhere because the person who looked at it estimated it had been played less than 3,000 times. It was in mint condition.
Right.
Had every original piece and all the lights and monitor were working.
Yeah.
So like it's like a holy grail find.
I popped round to the guy who runs the video game shop. Like there's a video game shop about 300 yards from my house, and I just never go in there. I just never, for whatever reason. I mean, it's all retro stuff, so you're not gonna see new stuff in there, but like it's all retro stuff, and he knows there's stuff. And next door, you used to have like an arcade. So it was like 25 old 1980s arcade machines, like your Chase HQ, your Operation Wolf, your Outrun, stuff like that.
Operation Wolf, what a classic! I forgot about that. That's the one with the gun.
And the sequel, Operation Thunderbolt.
I don't know about that one. Yeah.
And he had like loads of cabs, and it was called Neon Knights, and it was brilliant. But he got rid of all of them. And I said, what made you get rid? And he went, the electricity.
Oh, really?
Just the electricity. And those aren't like flat panel TV screens. There's a cathode ray tubes, lights, flashing lights, things that go wrong, things that go.
So even just to turn all his gear on in the morning.
Yeah, it was just absolutely ridiculous electricity.
And so the economics of it is that if I buy one of those things, it's got a coin slot.
Right.
I just take all the money every day. There's no rent paid or anything like that.
I think with those, you usually just put them on freebies, and then like so he would just he wouldn't it wouldn't be a coin thing. It would be like you just come in here for here's £7. I'm gonna come and play all the games.
No, but if I owned an arcade, but back in the day,
right,
you just purchase the machine,
and
then you take all the money.
Or I guess rent. There's probably like a rental scheme, I guess, as well. Yeah,
it's kind of fascinating back because we went to Wi-Fi have access to, and I were in Torquay a while back. And we had some time to kill before we went for dinner, and me being American doesn't really have an idea of like a seaside kind of arcade in the UK. Obviously, they have different things in the US, but so we went in and we played the bullseye fruit machine for like 2 hours, and it was really good fun.
Yeah.
But I was thinking to myself, and we won a bit of money, we lost a bit of money. It's a gambling machine, I guess, and it wasn't like an arcade machine. I was thinking like, you would probably, if you had people playing them all day.
Absolute money spinner. That's why they're there.
You could pull some decent cash down from what is essentially a gambling addiction issue.
Yeah, issue. The I would very much like. You've probably never seen one, but you know the pachinko parlors in Japan, where it's a little bit like a cross between. It's like a bagatelle game. Right. Ball comes down from the top of the thing, and it sort of bounces off little pegs, and it falls.
Oh,
in
I know,
yeah. And so you go in, you give them 20 quid or whatever, and they just give you a big bowl of silver.
Like that.
Yeah, I mean, a fucking cacophony.
So loud.
So they give you these little steel balls. but they give you like absolutely loads of them, and for every ball, it's worth a cent or a pound, a pence or whatever. And it's so loud, so people just get the balls and put them in their ears. So you walk around. It's like, how can everyone
don't do that?
How can everyone kind of like manage this cacophony? It's because they've all got silver balls in their ears.
As doctors listen to this, saying just take your own earplugs.
Just take your own earplugs. Yeah, don't do that.
Silver balls in your ears.
Don't put silver balls in your ears. But they put them in the machine and they turn the dial. I don't really know how it works, but they turn a dial and you get more balls back than you put in. And then you have to, because gambling is illegal in Japan, you have to exchange all of the balls for a voucher, and then you toddle off around the corner to a different company. It's completely separate. And you exchange your voucher for the money. so
it's like a Baltimore drug deal.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you get a little token.
You give your money to a kid.
Yeah.
He runs that way.
Yeah.
Tells that guy, who tells that guy, brings the drugs, so no one ever sees the money being exchanged
together.
for the drug.
Yeah.
Okay, that's almost like how they used to do it when they didn't have a license to sell alcohol at Alexandra Palace. Have you remember that?
No, I don't remember that at all.
You used to go in, you'd buy 10 vouchers for £10 and then little tickets.
Right.
And you go to the bar and it would be like 5 tickets for a beer.
Right.
And you'd give them the tickets. And
so you're not technically buying. I mean, that's
exactly.
That just seems like the admin to set up that scheme would mean that loophole would just be closed so quickly.